Hello everyone, I'm Megan Sullivan and welcome to my honest impressions video on Reynatis. Reynatis? Developed by Furyu and published by NIS. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. And if you would like to see more coverage of JRPGs like this, shout me out in the comment section below. Thank you. So let's cut right to the chase. Should you check out Reynatis? Is the demo worth your time? Was it worth my time? Should you pre-order it now before it's too late? And the answer is no. Look, I really wanted to like this game. And I stand by the belief it has a really cool concept and amazing music, but unfortunately, this low-poly jank of a game needed to cook at a higher temperature for at least a few more months before being released. It's just not quite ready for prime time. Now, don't get me wrong, it works. It's not fundamentally broken or anything, but it's rough. When a PlayStation 5 game looks like a PlayStation 2 game, we have problems. But let's talk about the good stuff first, because I don't want that getting lost in the sauce. The concept for Reynatis is a good one. The game takes place in a magical world where magic users, aka wizards, are misunderstood and feared. Those who wield magic are therefore social outcasts, and in a homogeneous society like Japan, this is a painful existence. Therefore, luminous-eyed mages will cover their faces and suppress their magic so they don't accumulate malice from the masses. However, not every wizard is thrilled to be a social outcast, and if I'm understanding this correctly, something known as the Guild was created in the hopes of freeing wizards from societal oppression. You get the sense, however, they're not a great group and kind of right-wing extremists. On the other side, you have a brutal police force full of wizards known as Maya, and their job is to keep other mages in line. They also happen to fight monsters, who seem to be connected to a powerful drug being sold on the streets of Shibuya. The demo is less than an hour long, so it's not clear how all of these things thread together, but you can see a faint ribbon of correlation here. At any rate, the demo lets you play as two of the main protagonists. On the one hand, there's Sari Nishijima, a former police officer who's joined Maya after a near-death experience left her with magical powers. Nishijima is a no-nonsense character who finds herself in an unexpected leadership role and must navigate murky waters involving street gangs and monsters. During the demo, she will battle drugged-out street punks, monsters, and investigate crimes reported by local citizens with a handy police app. What's interesting about playing as Nishijima is that she has a character gauge known as stress. Every time Nishijima talks to a person, it stresses her out, and if the gauge is full, she'll be unable to suppress her magic and everyone will recognize her as a wizard and start panicking. That means people will be afraid to talk to her, so while investigating a crime or trying to meet a gameplay objective, she may not get the information she needs. Luckily, she can buy food and drink that chill her out, but it behooves the player to be aware of the gauge at all times. Now, I like the concept behind the stress gauge, but I didn't really get a chance to play around with it, so the jury's still out on how I ultimately feel about it. Now, in the second half of the demo, players embody Marin Kirizumi, a 19-year-old wizard who dislikes and distrusts the cops and extremist guild in equal measure. He's focused on becoming the very best, like no one ever was. Although what it means to be the very best as a wizard in a society that hates magic users is never clarified. At least it's not yet clarified. We just know he's a rebel without a cause. Now, he doesn't have to worry about stress, but he does have to be mindful of people's malice towards wizards. And in fact, instead of a stress gauge, he has to try and reduce a malice gauge, which he can do by completing quests around Shibuya. And it's fine, it's an interesting concept, I just don't know where it's going yet. But what's different story-wise is that Marin knows of a magical forest that can only be accessed by wizards. It's full of monsters, but also full of mystery, and during the demo, you get to explore this mysterious, yet bland and boring linear area in order to hone your battle skills against magical monsters. And although I wouldn't say I love the combat system, I don't hate it. It's okay, so I chalk that up as a win for the game. Battle mechanics are fairly straightforward. You can run and dodge and slash like you could in any other action RPG, but the most important weapon in your arsenal isn't even a weapon. It's the ability to dodge. When you perfectly time a dodge, you'll steal magic from your opponent. That fills up your magic gauge, and when it's full, you can slow down time and unleash an attack of your own. You can then use a combination of normal and magic-based attacks to beat down opponents. While in your more bland, normal state, you're in what is called suppressed mode, because you're suppressing your magic and focusing on dodging the enemy. But with a quick press of the L1 button, you can switch over to liberation mode, which allows you to use up the magic in your magic gauge and give the enemy a serious butt kicking. I admit it took a while to get the hang of switching between the two combat modes, and because I would be locked onto one monster, it was hard to dodge the attacks of multiple enemies at once. Plus, the battle camera, well actually the camera in general, was kind of finicky, so that was a bummer. But the default difficulty was pretty darn easy, and I didn't even have access to every magical skill or skill upgrade. Skills, by the way, can be upgraded with points. Of course they can. In short, overall, the combat is pretty fun. The last positive thing I have to say about this game is that it's got a great soundtrack, Yoko Shimomura was tapped for this project, and good art direction. And that's good considering the graphics are not good. In fact, let's talk about the bad, and it all starts with the horrendous visuals. Now, I always say that a good game has to be a good game first. Graphics are important, but they don't ultimately define a game. But this, oh man, you guys, I kid you not. These graphics are so low poly, they can't even quite compare to the visuals found in games like Final Fantasy X and God of War 2. No, not God of War Ragnarok. God of War 2, as in the game that came out on PlayStation 2. And I feel bad for saying that, because I know the team at Fudio did the best they could with what little money they had. I really believe they tried, but it's rough, y'all, and it doesn't help there are pop-in textures, characters move all janky. I mean, look at this. On top of this, the linearity makes exploration boring, the camera gets stuck in weird places. As for the visuals, no, seriously, they're just yikes. Now, having said all that, the demo does promise something interesting. In the last battle, Marin gains an ally, and you can switch between Marin and his cute new friend if their magic gauges have enough juice. This opens up the strategic possibilities in battle. Unfortunately, right after this fight, the demo ends abruptly, and I don't even think I caught the girl's name. To be honest, this demo actually needed to be at least 30 minutes longer so I can mix and match the party's abilities, get more of a chance to unlock and upgrade magic skills, and learn a little bit more about the world. I also wanted the chance to play around with the user interface more, which is familiar but nifty. It's basically in the form of a smartphone with a screen you can pull up in order to access different apps that allow you to equip your character, use items, text NPCs, etc., etc. But I didn't get that chance, and to be honest, right now I have no desire to drop money on Reynatis. It would have to be on sale or get a really high Metacritic score before I committed hours and hours to this conceptually interesting but realistically dull world. But hey, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.